For more than 2 centuries, history has offered us a comfortable truth, a monolithic truth etched on papyrus and perpetuated by guides in the unforgiving heat of the Egyptian desert. We were told that this colossal monument, a marvel of engineering and human will, was nothing more than the tomb of a pharaoh, a man named Khufu, who reigned 4,500 years ago. But there is a fundamental problem with this story, a flaw so profound it threatens to collapse the entire edifice of our past. The sarcophagus has always been empty. The official narrative of Egyptology, the backbone of countless documentaries and textbooks, is based almost entirely on a single, controversial piece of evidence, a few crude quarry marks found in 1837 by a British adventurer in weight-relieving chambers which supposedly mention the work crew of the Pharaoh Khufu. Practically our entire understanding rests on this fragile and contested foundation. What if this proof is not what it seems? What if the true story is not just incomplete, but has been deliberately obscured? At the center of this monumental enigma, one figure stands out as the guardian of orthodoxy. For decades, Dr. Hawass controlled the access in the narrative of Giza with an iron fist. His most famous quote echoes with a chilling finality: "There are no more secrets in Giza. We know everything about the pyramids." But this is where the plot thickens. What happens when new evidence, capable of rewriting history, is systematically silenced, ignored, or suppressed? If you've ever felt there's more to our history than we're told, keep watching. Tonight, we will reveal the geological proof that the Sphinx is thousands of years older than Egyptian civilization itself, the astronomical evidence that the pyramids are a star map pointing to a precise date, 10,500 BC, and why the academic establishment may be deliberately hiding the key to our true origin. The answers could change everything you think you know about the past. The first crack in the official narrative came not from a papyrus, but from the rock itself. In 1991, Dr. Robert Schoch, a geologist and professor at Boston University, was invited to analyze the silent sentinel of Giza, the Great Sphinx. He ignored the hieroglyphs and the tales of pharaohs. He focused on the language of the stone. His conclusion was an academic earthquake. The erosion patterns on the body of the Sphinx and, crucially, on the walls of its enclosure, were not consistent with wind erosion from the desert. They were unequivocally carved by millennia of torrential rainfall. Conventional Egyptology dates the Sphinx to around 2500 BC, but geology, an exact science, screamed a radically different chronology. The last time Egypt saw such persistent rains was before it became a desert, during the end of the last ice age. The science of the rocks pointed to a minimum date of 5000 BC, and possibly as far back as 10,000 BC. The official narrative was not just broken, it was pulverized. If the Sphinx is 12,000 years old, a dizzying abyss opens in our timeline, a terrifying information vacuum. Who, in 10,000 BC, possessed the social organization, the technology, and the monumental vision to carve a 73-meter-long statue from solid bedrock? History tells us that at that time, humanity consisted of small tribes of hunter-gatherers. There were no cities, no writing, no complex engineering. The hole in the story is deafening. A lost civilization capable of monumental feats simply does not fit the paradigm we've been taught. We feel the loss of an entire chapter of our own origin. Who were they? And more disturbingly, where did they go? The mask used to conceal this void is the very simplicity of the official narrative: tombs for pharaohs. It's an explanation so elegant and final that it discourages deeper questions. It shrouds the monuments of Giza in a funerary purpose, hiding a function potentially far more complex, ancient, and perhaps alien to our understanding. This tomb mask conceals glaring anomalies. Why does the Great Pyramid, supposedly the pinnacle of funerary architecture, have not a single official hieroglyphic inscription in its main passages or chambers, unlike all other royal tombs? Why is the sarcophagus in the king's chamber larger than the passageway entrance, indicating it was placed there during construction and not for a later burial? The tomb mask is a smokescreen, designed to give us an easy answer and stop us from asking the hard questions. The tension builds in the details, in the whispers of the stone itself. Modern engineers and machining experts look at Giza not with admiration, but with a perplexity bordering on disbelief. Consider the precision. The base of the Great Pyramid, covering an area of 13 acres, is level to within a margin of error of less than 2 centimeters. Its sides are aligned to the cardinal points with an accuracy that would only be matched in the age of satellites and GPS. And then there is the evidence of tools. Researcher and engineer Christopher Dunn has spent decades analyzing these anomalies. He documented saw marks that cut through granite at a depth of 2.5 millimeters per revolution, drill holes that advanced into the rock at a rate 500 times greater than modern diamond drills. To Dunn, these are not the marks of hand tools. They are the fingerprints of an advanced, lost machining technology. Every mark, every cut, every perfect angle is a slow movement, building an undeniable truth. Whoever built this did not do it with stone hammers and copper chisels. What do you believe? Are we witnessing the work of artisans of superhuman genius using methods we do not yet understand? Or are we seeing the relics of a technology that history has forgotten? Your theories are as important as ours. Leave your opinion in the comments. The investigation is far from over, and the piece that connects the earth and the sky has yet to be revealed. Don't go anywhere. While Schoch's geology pointed to a deeper past, and Dunn's engineering pointed to a lost technology, another researcher was looking up to the stars. Robert Bauval, a construction engineer with a passion for ancient astronomy, noticed something that Egyptologists had overlooked for a century. Bauval realized that the layout of the 3 Giza pyramids on the ground was not random. They formed a map, a perfect map of the 3 stars of Orion's belt in the sky. The Pyramid of Menkore, the smallest, is slightly offset from the axis of the other 2, exactly like Mintaka, the corresponding star in the belt. The Nile River, flowing beside the plateau, mirrored the Milky Way in the sky. It was the Orion correlation. But Bauval's correlation came with a smoking gun. a detail that turned a fascinating theory into a shocking revelation. Due to an astronomical phenomenon known as the precession of the equinoxes, the position of the stars in the sky slowly changes over a 26,000-year cycle. Bauval entered the traditional date of 2500 BC into his computer program. The alignment was good, but it wasn't perfect. There was a discrepancy. So he did the unthinkable. He began to go back in time, century by century, millennium by millennium. And upon reaching a specific date, the alignment became absolute, flawless. Heaven and earth in perfect, undeniable synchrony. The date was 10,500 BC, the exact same time window that Robert Schoch's geology pointed to. Two independent scientific disciplines, geology and astronomy, like two witnesses who had never met, pointing to the same impossible moment in history. This is not a coincidence. It is a convergence of evidence. It is our smoking gun. The impact of this revelation is profound, almost existential. The Giza pyramids are not tombs celebrating the death of a king. They are a clock, the most durable clock ever built, marking a specific moment in time, the first time, or Zep Tepi, as the ancient Egyptians themselves called it, a golden age when gods walked among men. Whoever built Giza did so in order that we, a civilization 12,000 years distant, could look to the stars and know that something of immense importance happened at that moment. They left us a message, not in fragile words that time erases, but in the universal and eternal language of mathematics, geology, and astronomy. A message engraved on the very face of the planet. Even with this overwhelming revelation, a painful absence remains. If it wasn't the dynastic Egyptians of Khufu, then who? The identity of the builders is the ghost that haunts Giza. They left us the what and the when, but not the who. We have lost their names, their language, their history. We have only the shadow of their greatness cast across the millennia. The complete absence of their records is perhaps the greatest mystery of all. Was it a global cataclysm that erased them from history? Or was their identity deliberately removed by those who came after, in an effort to claim their glory and rewrite the past for their own ends? And this leads us to the final, most unsettling question. If the Giza complex is a marker for a cataclysmic event, or a new beginning for civilization in 10,500 BC, what were they trying to tell us? Was it a memorial, a warning? And why does the academic establishment, confronted with the convergence of geology and astronomy, so vehemently refuse to investigate this possibility? What do they fear finding beneath the sands of Giza? Or worse, within our own forgotten history? We have journeyed from the empty chambers of the Great Pyramid to the eroded depths of time, and from the distant stars of Orion back to solid ground. The story of Giza, as we've been told, is a mask that hides an immeasurably older and more profound truth. This is not the story of a tomb, but the legacy of a lost civilization that has spoken to us across the millennia. The truth is not written on papyrus that rots, but in stone and stars, waiting for us to have the courage to read it. If you believe that our history is greater, older, and more mysterious than we are led to believe, join this investigation. Subscribe to our channel and activate notifications. With each new script, we remove another stone. We decipher another code. The search for our true origin has just begun. Keep questioning.